What's going on, beautiful people, and welcome to your new sweatbox exercise. Today we're going to be training your lower back, your upper back, and I'll be doing the whole set with 2 dumbbells. If you have a kettlebell at home, definitely feel free to grab that as well, and let's get started. Alright, so like mentioned before, you can do this entire exercise just as well with a kettlebell or with dumbbells. And we're going to get started with the first exercise, which is going to be a deadlift. You want to make sure your feet are hip width, your spine is straight, you're pushing those hips to the back. And from here you want to drag those dumbbells across the shins. Okay, keep those hips to the back. Now you want to make sure that your neck is in the same line as your spine. Your head is not going to go all the way up to the ceiling or to your chest. And when you're all the way hinging forward, push those knees out. So inhale on your way down, exhale as you're rising up, and don't let those knees cave in. Just watch me. Alright, wonderful job, guys. In a few seconds, we're going to the next exercise, which is going to be your bent over rows. So again, neck aligned with the spine. You're gonna lengthen those arms, pull the elbows all the way in. I like to imagine I'm cracking a walnut in between my shoulder blades, and then you're gonna release. Now really keep that core engaged as well. You'll wait to see if it's worth your while. So give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me. Give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me. Alright, up next we're going to throw those 2 last exercises into a combination. We're coming to a deadlift with a bent over row. So on your way down, you're going to squeeze those elbows right next to the rib cage, lengthen and lift back up. Small little bonus tip, if you have a mirror around or even just a window or anything with your reflection in it, check your own spine. Is it still straight or are you hunching forward? Which is very tempting to do as we're not really aware of this sometimes. Just watch me. Up next is going to be another bent over row combination, but then you're going to use an underhand position, which means your hand palms are facing up to the ceiling, which targets a bit more of the upper back. And the same thing applies, guys. Core is engaged, lower back stays strong. You're squeezing those glutes and those hamstrings. I wanna be with you. Then it's time for your deadlift to an upright row, one of my favorites. Make sure you're squeezing all the way up until shoulder height, not further than that, as if you're cracking that walnut again between the shoulder blades, and make sure your elbows stay pointed to the sides. Now don't squeeze those shoulders to your ears. Good job, ladies and gents, because we are halfway through the exercise by now, and at this point you should be feeling that lower back burn. There's no other way to put it, but I can compare it to when you're on your period. You know, that lower back pain, that stingy feeling that you get. That's what you should be feeling by now. So don't worry if that's the case. It only means you're doing a good job. And for the guys, if you didn't know what it felt like, now you know. It's time for your single rows. So keep a bent over position as you're tucking that elbow right next to the rib cage. Squeeze that belly button in and keep your glutes engaged as well. Now be mindful of your shoulders staying frontal, pointed to the mat. Don't turn them open as you're rowing all the way in. Alright, inhale as you drop that dumbbell down. Exhale whenever you're pulling the elbow next to the rib cage. And I'd like to imagine that I'm squeezing my left shoulder blade to the right one. Great, now switch it over to the other side. We're going to repeat that single row and exhale every time you tuck it in. Then we're gonna go to pause deadlifts. I always feel like a robot whenever I do this one. You're gonna go down in 3 stops. You're gonna hold it for a second with all the tension in your engaged muscles. Lower down for the second stop, the third one, and then up in those 3 stops as well. Okay, it's time to come down to the mat from here. So get down on all fours and then from there move onto your belly. We're just doing some activation exercises, so you don't need any dumbbells. And we're starting with a turtle combination only with the lower body. That means your upper body is staying glued to the floor, but your legs are lifting up and down. Squeeze your glutes, your lower back, and your core from here. Then in a couple of seconds, it's gonna be the upper body turtle combination. That means your toes staying glued into the floor this time. So whenever you lift that upper body up, make sure your feet don't lift and your lower back stays strong. Are your feet still tucked into the floor? Make sure that every time you lift, you check yourself and keep pressing them down. We're then throwing it into a combination, so that means your upper body, your lower body is lifting all at the same time. Make sure you're not gonna bend those knees, so keep the legs very straight as you're lifting them up. And then squeeze as much as you can in those glutes. And then guys, this is your last exercise of your lower back workout. And 3, 2, 1. You guys nailed your exercise. Thank you so much for joining. I'd love to see you at the next one. And if you like this workout, then definitely please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I see you at the next one. Bye.